All right, let's get right into it. We all think we know what a blackout is, right? The lights go out, we hunt around for some candles, and we just wait. But what if waiting isn't just a bad plan? What if it's the deadliest thing you can do?
Just let that sink in for a moment. I mean, really think about it. Everything we depend on, the fridge keeping our food cold, the Wi-Fi, the water from our taps, even our toilets, it's all connected to that power grid. And when the grid goes down, our entire modern world just freezes.
And this is the whole point. The blackout itself, that's just an inconvenience. It only turns into a life or death situation because of a few very common and often fatal mistakes people make in those first critical hours and days. And that's exactly what we're going to break down.
So first up, let's talk about the most immediate threats. These are the dangers that pop up right there inside your own home, usually when you're just trying to make things a little more normal, a little more comfortable.
The very first mistake often happens when people try to solve the simplest problems, staying warm or cooking some food. But in that attempt to find a little comfort, they accidentally unleash the #1 killer in basically every major blackout: carbon monoxide. It's silent, it's invisible, and it fills up a house because of one really common, really bad assumption. Now, what's so dangerous here is how logical the myth sounds. Hey, the garage door is open, so I'm good. But you're not. You're absolutely not. That gas builds up so fast, seeping through cracks and under doors into your house. It can knock you out before you even realize something's wrong. Let me be clear. Never, ever, ever run a generator indoors. Not in a garage, not in a shed, not anywhere attached to your house.
And besides the poison you can't see, there's fire. When it's pitch black, your perception is all off. It becomes way too easy to just knock over a candle you forgot about or to drape a blanket too close to a propane heater. A simple little mistake that you'd never ever make with the lights on can turn into a full-blown catastrophe in seconds.
Okay, so let's say you've survived those immediate dangers inside your house. Good. But now a whole new clock starts ticking. And this one is tied to a resource we almost never think about because, well, we just assume it's always got to be there: water. This is a huge blind spot for almost everyone. We turn the handle, water comes out. End of story, right? Wrong. See, behind that simple faucet, there's a massive, complex network of powerful electric pumps, all working to push that water through miles of pipes to get to your home. No power, no pumps. And when the pumps stop, the pressure starts to drop fast. And just look at how quickly this spirals out of control. For the first few hours, things might seem fine. But in less than a day, the municipal pumps start to fail. By the 24-hour mark, any water stored in local towers is likely gone. And by day 2, people who haven't stored any water are starting to get really desperate. And that desperation leads them to look at swimming pools, ponds, puddles, which brings us right to the next big problem.
You see, with no fresh water coming into the system, another critical service we completely take for granted starts to break down. And when this one fails, it brings back dangers from a century ago.
So what exactly is sanitation collapse? It's exactly what it sounds like. Toilets don't flush, sewage systems back up, garbage pickup stops, all that waste starts piling up, creating a perfect, disgusting breeding ground for all kinds of nasty bacteria and disease.
All of a sudden, you're looking at the real possibility of diseases you've only read about in history books: cholera, dysentery, things that thrive in conditions with contaminated water and poor hygiene, which are the exact conditions created by a long-term blackout.
Okay, so we've moved from the physical threats, the poisons, the fires, the diseases, to the psychological ones. Because as the lights stay off, the tech we lean on dies, and that thin veneer of civilized human behavior, it starts to crack.
Just look at this. It's almost funny if it weren't so tragic. In those first critical hours, what do most people do? They reach for their phones. To scroll social media, watch videos, play games. They burn through their single most important tool for communication and information, on distractions. That little battery icon is your lifeline, and most people just drain it without a second thought.
And that's the real turning point. When the screens go dark for good, that's it. The last link to the outside world, to news, to family, to any sense of normalcy, it's gone. And that total isolation, it breeds fear.
This 24 to 48-hour window is absolutely critical. It's the point where reality crashes down. The food in the fridge is bad, the faucets are dry, and there's no word on when or if the power is coming back. Hope begins to run out, and when hope runs out, desperation takes over.
And that desperation follows a very predictable and very dangerous pattern. It always starts with panic buying. But once the store shelves are bare, it escalates, first to looting, and then, eventually, to violence over the few resources that are left. The biggest mistake here is assuming that everyone is going to stay calm and help their neighbor. History tells us, time and again, they won't.
So, we've gone over carbon monoxide, fire, lack of water, disease, the breakdown of society. But all of these deadly mistakes, they're really just symptoms of one single fundamental failure.
I mean, just take a look at this. The picture tells the whole story. The vast, overwhelming majority of us are simply not ready for even a 72-hour power outage. We don't have the water, we don't have the food, we don't have a plan. We just have hope.
So, here it is. This is the whole thing. The single biggest mistake, the one that guarantees all the others, is passivity. It's the assumption that someone else is going to fix this. It's sitting in the dark, just waiting for the lights to come back on, waiting for the government to show up with food and water. It's a complete failure to take personal responsibility for your own survival.
Because our power grid is fragile, and these events are becoming more and more common. The mistakes we talked about today aren't some far-fetched theory. They are the documented reasons people die in these situations. So the question you really have to ask yourself is this. The next one is coming. Are you going to be ready?